What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Flycap. Welcome back to another League of Legends video. Today we're going to be doing a full game analysis, and since that community can go longer than usual, and this game does go for about 40 minutes, that means it's broken into two different sections. So if you don't want to listen to 40 minutes of me talking about gameplay and like why I'm making the decisions I'm making, and just League of Legends overall, then you can only watch one of them, or none of them, if that's what you want to do, but I'd prefer if you at least watch one. So yeah, this game I'm playing Lucian. This is a solo queue ranked game in Silver 4, so not very high up in the standings or anything like that. It is towards the beginning of the season, so I'm cutting myself some slack. My goal for this season is definitely to get gold and hopefully plat, but I think plat might be a little unrealistic. Maybe gold 3 or something like that would be cool. Also, as a little update, I'm going to be the new advisor for our junior college's esports team. So that's doing everything with Call of Duty, Halo, Street Fighter 5, and the whole Evo scene and League of Legends. So I'm going to be advising that club. I'm really excited about that. I'm also going to be teaching a League of Legends class in a couple months here in April, starting up. And yeah, so a lot of stuff going on with League. I'm definitely trying to get more and more involved. And as we know, the World Championships for this year are going to be in North America, which is super exciting. And the quarterfinals are pretty close to where I live in San Francisco, about an hour away from me. So I think I'm going to be checking those out for show. But hopping into the game, we have a Janna Lucian lane here. I'm not doing a Q. Sometimes I give a Q to the jungler, but it's Jax. He doesn't really need it. And with the Janna shield, he definitely doesn't need it. So just giving him 4 autos, saving some of my mana. And walking down into this lane. So a Thresh Jinx lane is actually a really, really scary lane. Especially if if the Thresh hits any part of his CC, it's really, really difficult for you to get out of that. So beginning of this lane here, and I played this game earlier today. So this is not live commentary, but I know what I did wrong, and there's definitely a couple things I could have played better, but that's the whole point about watching the gameplays. So I see their split here, and since I have the shield on, I decided to put damage onto the Jinx. Since we're only level 1, they're not getting early level 2, I think I can just walk away from it and outwin that trade. Or out damage in that trade. And essentially we do onto the Thresh. We cause them to use some pots. And since I have a Doran's Blade here in the Janna's shield, I'm just looking to auto, especially with Lucian's passive. On each of your double shots, it procs your percent life steal. You get a lot of health back just from the Dorans and autoing Lucian. So I'm trying to not use that pot and save it and just sustain back up as is. What we do get out of that, though, is some of the sustain off of their lane in the Thresh. So that's good. Looking at the rest of the map, we have a Quinn versus Renekton. That can really go either way in my mind, although I'm not an expert at top lane, so I could be wrong. Right there, you saw, though, that the Thresh missed the hook, baited it out, and since he missed it, I immediately turned on him to get some return damage, caused him to use another potion. You can see he has 1 left right there. Yeah, so as a general rule of thumb, if the support that you're playing against misses their hard CC in the lane, and there's not like a huge minion wave or something like that that would stop you from doing so, it's always really advisable to just go aggressive, because they've used everything, so you might as well get the return damage. They can't do anything back to you except, maybe some autos or something like that. And worst case scenario, you always have your heal and your flash. And it's good to play like you have your heal and your flash when you do, rather than saving them for last resort. You can definitely make some really cool plays happen with them if you kind of, know your limits with that. So look to be more aggressive when you have those summoner spells up, definitely. The inverse of that, though, when you don't have them up, you definitely need to play more carefully. It should be pretty obvious, but you also need to let your team know that you don't have those summoner spells up, so if they're looking to fight. Right there, I dodged the hook because I knew he would expect me to E back. Pretty stupid by me right there to get hit by the chompers, though, but we did get some damage back down. And now, after all this time, I'm going to finally be proccing my pot. So right there, probably could have gone even more aggressive on the Thresh. Right here, he's super, super low. If I flash Q or flash E, even when that spell is back up, it probably would get the kill here. I remember not going on him and thinking, that was probably really stupid. I could have baited that out. At the same time, though, in game, I remember thinking as well that we hadn't seen the Volibear in a while, and Volibear could be in that brush right next to me where I am. But when I saw that Lantern come out, I knew that he had backed off, and that we'd missed our opportunity. So it's okay, though. Our Quinn is getting ahead here top lane, which is really good. And a Karma versus Annie in the mid lane is, well, it's pretty annoying, I'm sure, for both people, but I personally would find playing against an Annie, and do find playing against an Annie, incredibly annoying, because basically once it gets to like 15 minutes into the game, he can one-shot you as ADC or a mid laner, for the most part. Now, this is not, unless you build Abyssal or, any kind of MR, or if your team has an Aegis or something like that, it's a little bit less scary. But what I was thinking about actually is that building like shields in a sense is the most effective against that. Like as Lucian, the QSS would be good to remove the stun and you get the magic resist from that as well. But something else that could be decent would be to just go shielding items like the Bloodthirster so that the initial burst doesn't take all of your health down so much, just the shield that you gain autoing up until that point. And Bloodthirster syncs really, really well with Lucian for the same reason I mentioned with his passive double shot. So definitely a strong item on him. And of course I did not go at this game. Generally speaking, I go for the Essence Reaver for CDR, and then I go into the Rapid Fire Cannon because I like Zeal on Lucian. It feels really, really good. I actually used to build him Trinity Force when I first started just like goofing around with him. And this Thresh has hit 0 hooks so far, so my Janna's giving him a little BM. But just playing up in the lane, like you have to trust yourself sometimes to dodge the skill shots. And like I said, worst case scenario, if I didn't, this is where I fucked up. So I E forward into a minion wave, and then I didn't flash over the chompers. So I had to flash right there to get away afterwards and pop both of my pots. So this is where we basically lost all the advantage that we had gotten early. And since I had a really weird back timing, good flash hook from him. Luckily, I still had heal, so I was able to get away there. Use Jinx's heal as well. But that pretty much negated all of the sustain that I was getting back from my potions, and then we just traded summoner spells. But the Thresh did lose flash as well, so I think we played that pretty well. Hitting level 5 here, always maxing Q with Lucian. Piercing Light is such a good spell. And actually your W, which I can't remember the freaking name of right now, but your W is really, really useful. Simply to just output more damage, and it's really when there's no minion wave present, and let's say you're up at a tower, because I get juke here and fooled by this Thresh who tricked me into thinking he was gone. But if you're up into a tower and there's no minion wave there of the opponents, so you can't use your Q to get your double reset for your auto, right? So you can W away from the tower or E to get your double shot off. You always want to be doing that when you're hitting towers with Lucian, just to make them go down even quicker. So Thresh is playing up a little bit right here, and I am pretty weak without potions, but I have a really weird amount of gold right here. I can't really get anything. I'd be looking for the Warhammer for the CDR as part of the Essence Reaver, and it really just depends. The nice thing about going the Essence Reaver first is that if you are in lane and you're able to stay there for a while and sustain up, or get a lead even, you can get the BF early for the 1300 gold. But let's say for some reason that you don't get ahead, or that you get killed or something and you're pretty behind, you can always go for the double longsword into the Warhammer for the CDR, and it works just as well. So right there we were able to get both kills. I only get 1 assist unfortunately because I had to play back to get them to play aggressive so Quinn could come in, but it's okay. So just pushing the minion wave in here and looking to back. And then I realized that I have ult and there's a minion wave and it's not quite hitting the tower yet. And I want to deny them as much of this XP as I can from this minion wave, so I'm just pushing the wave in really quickly. Gives me a little bit more gold, still even more awkward honestly now because it's 1,000 instead of 900. Still can't get a BF, so looking for the hammer. So getting hammer here and boots, and probably a couple potions as well. Can't remember, what did I get? Yeah, a couple potions. So again, not really ideal because the thing is, Jinx that whole time had not backed. We initially had the advantage until I blew it by E-ing forward in the minion wave at that point. So I was looking to kill there with double longsword. That's the only way that build path doesn't still set me behind because I didn't get the BF. But since we weren't able to kill her, she backs and gets the BF sword. And so now at this point in the lane, it's actually pretty even. Her damage output is pretty substantial, and we just trade that for CDR, which on Lucian equates to damage output because you're more of a caster or AD caster. But still, now the lane is very even, despite the fact that we have assist on our members.
Don't look so real.
If you miss the cannon, it's just like failed. Time to go home. Time to go to bed. And it happens more often than not, which is the annoying thing. But that's like definitely one of the things I worked on first as ADC is just practicing last hitting, because you're once you play in a lane other than jungle or support, your CSing is essentially your income for the entirety of the game. You're not always going to get kills. You're not always going to be ahead. So the way that you stay relevant in the game is through your CS. So if you're not able to get CS and find yourself safe and creative places to get it from, like different lanes or jungle camps, then whew, bad news bears. We see Karma coming down here as a little trade goes down. We actually win that onto the Thresh. Pretty cool. Karma's going to come in here and not be able to find much. Especially, so now we see the TP coming in, so we're thinking, all right, shit, we had to back off because we can't get trapped down there. He gets hooked. Really nice ultimate there from the Janna. Puts a shield on her, and then the Karma actually ults to get us all away. I do have heal up right now. So here our Quinn disconnect. At this point in the game, I was like, okay, well, they're all bot and they're pretty weak. Maybe we can look to clean up, especially since I have heal. And we get rid of the minion wave here. The Karma gets hooked once again into the Jinx ult. And then I heal to keep her alive a little bit longer. I don't quite have the damage to get down on the Thresh. And then the Annie flash ults out of that bush. So, as you can see, I put in the chat, are you fucking kidding me? Because I had no, like, I should have known that she was there. But honestly, you can see from watching that my screen was not focused on that bush. That ward was there to see her. You know, like I should have seen her in that bush. And then I shouldn't have played up. But I got kind of greedy thinking I could kill the Thresh. And then I got hit by his ultimate, like part of one of those walls, and slowed when I was at a too far forward position. So, unfortunate. Meanwhile, Jax is just farming up. He is a Devour jungler, so not the worst thing in the world for him to just be doing his thing. The Quinn is really ahead. The Karma is behind, even more so now that the Annie came bot and got some kills. But Karma is, in some ways, like in my mind, I think of her as Lulu in a sense, where she's like a utility mid laner. Of course, her damage output is really high, but compared to Annie, who's just looking to basically assassinate a carry late game, or 2 or 3 or 4, depending how fed she is. Karma has speed boost, she has hard CC that's way more consistent, she has poke with a light CC with a slow, and she has some life steal. She's got, like, Karma is just like a really interesting champion as far as what she provides and just inherent in her kit, but no mata. Another cannon, you know, successfully taken. Fantastic. If I was running Strength of the Ages, you know, just be getting stronger by the second. I'm seeing, like, I definitely run that on all my junglers, but I do see people running that on support more now, and even in LCS, which is cool. It makes sense because it's pretty combat effective for, like, what your investment is. You know, it's no gold necessarily, and you just get more health. So health is great, especially on supports. We can die so easily. So we're looking to pressure this wave in, just letting the Thresh know that we know he came in from over there, just so he wouldn't walk up and try to hook or do something weird at that point. But yeah, once again, like I said, the lane is somewhat equalized, and it's 4-6 now in kills. So the game has gotten a little bit closer, 5-6 now, as you can see, because our Quinn did disconnect for a while, lost all of our pressure that she had created topside, and they were able to come down with 4 bots and make a couple plays. Quinn getting a shutdown there is really good. Shutdown back onto Volibear, not so good. So it's, you know, pretty even stuff there. The Jinx, or the Janna gets hooked. Really nice ultimate by her to get them off of her. Nice little exchange, and we get the Jinx super, super low. I could flash Q and have gotten the kill right there, now that I think about it. And actually, one of my friends was spectating me during this game, and afterwards, he told me the same thing. He's like, yeah, at one point, I think you could have killed the Jinx. And I definitely could have killed her there. So, like I was saying in the beginning of this video, how you really want to play like you have those summoner spells available. I definitely should have just played like I did have the flash available, because I did. Just, you know, whoop that ass. But that's for next time. And now we know. Knowing the battle. Quinn and Jax and Karma are coming down. We're looking to 5-man here. Unfortunately, we kind of pushed the wave too hard for that call to be the best, because that wave is going to hit tower before any of them get there. It's going to be cleared out, and then we're going to have to wait for another wave. Their wave is going to be back, and so it's a little bit more difficult. Luckily, the Queen is just a beast. Gets the kill. Karma goes in. So she's so far ahead that she can do that. But what you can see is there's always the counterplay being made, because we pulled numbers down here. So Jax is getting Dragon, Quinn overextends, trying to get a second kill instead of just taking the tower. Or what she really should have done there is, after getting the kill, she should have just backed. Because she can see that Renekton is putting a whole lot of pressure on top side of the map. And we were going to get that tower without her there anyway. And he puts fresh ward down, taken out by us. And Jax got the dragon, so that's super good for us and for him, because he's going to Devour. So dragons and scuttlers are incredibly important for him. And this is where I spend close to 15 seconds, 20 seconds trying to kill a Gromp without a BF. So that's pretty fun. This is why, like, excuse me, going marksman in the jungle can be super difficult. if you're not someone like Graves who has that knockback, or Quinn who has that blind, or her backflip to kind of, you know, reposition and kind of kite the camps around. Can be super difficult. Drink of choice today, just plain water. So there's the BF item, finally coming through. Getting another pink ward. So I have a little bit more power now. I'm still not where I'd like to be at CS-wise. I would like to be at about 135 right now. But unfortunately, we had some skirmishes and stuff bought, and I missed actually more CS than I usually do, so that was pretty shitty by me. Nice 2v2 skirmish here, though. Jax is at a really strong point in the game. He's kind of gone from being annoying but not lethal to being lethal. He hits that point where Jax just all of a sudden kills you incredibly quickly. That's about this point in the game. Volley getting the double right there is annoying, though, just because Volibear just has so much inherent damage, in addition to being incredibly tanky. His passive is pretty broken. I actually really don't like Volibear. Riot, please nerf the bear, please. But Jinx looking to take the Scuttler Crab here. Janna's zones are off, which I thought was pretty cool. And I thought she was just BMing here, so I'm just, you know, hanging about. But then I realized that she's actually DC'd. And the Jinx realizes this too. I'm not going to blow Summoner spells to save her, so Jinx just gets a kill onto the Janna. So lame. Not missing any of this CS there under the tower, like a boss. Yeah, once you have your BF, CSing with Lucian becomes so much more fun and just easier because you just spam your Q and your W and your E. He's just all about spamming. That's why I said I used to build him Trinity Force for a while, because he really benefits from the extra mana, first of all, and from the movement speed, and from the Sheen procs. So yeah, just a great item on him, but I think it's really snowbally, and especially with Rapid Fire Cannon now, I feel like there's a similar purpose because it's a heal item for him. So I would experiment with building him a little bit more just like all in on the crit, so maybe going for the static or something like that too. I've seen more top laners go Death Dance than EDCs actually, so I'm really looking to do that with him either. Jinx gets a nice little lantern there, but we know they're trapped in here, so I'm just going to circle around, try to make them use a little bit more, start the ult, channeling it to get some damage down initially, and the Jinx flashes right there, and the Thresh pops his ult down. So just getting out after that. A lot of times in solo queue, especially at lower elos, people will just chase that. It's like, oh, they're so weak, like, gotta get kills. And it's at the point, you just need to realize the point when you need to turn around and just say, that was a victory enough. You know, we blew 2 flashes, or 1 flash, maybe 2 flashes, and Thresh's ultimate. For a Lucian ultimate, that's a pretty short cooldown, and for a Jinx flash, when we have a Jack and a Quinn. So, yeah, it's pretty worth for us. Here, I'm assuming that my team is strong enough to handle mid lane. It has a wave clear enough. Quinn's putting pressure on top lane, which could draw back some of them. So I'm just going bot to clean up and get the CS to get the wave, at least not pushed so far in. The way you have to think about wave pressure, too, is that not only is it a loss of XP, you know, when waves are pushing in towards you to a certain extent, and it just creates more pressure for them, it also creates more free vision for them. Excuse me, since inevitably someone's going to respond to the wave, so it just gives them more information that for free you would like to not give it to them if you could help it. So Quinn's able to get a tower there at the cost for just one person dying mid, which is actually pretty worth. But you can see now that the kills in this game are actually back to pretty close to even, 12 to 12. And I'm 0-1-1 at this point. I would guarantee to you that I finished the game better off. They're getting my first kill. I do finish the game 7-something and 6. I think 7-2 and 6, I believe. So it's just around this point that all the item spikes are starting to come through for the entirety of the team. I finished my Essence Reaver right there. I have my Lucidity Boots Essence Reaver. That's my core. Jax is stated. He's going in like a motherfucker. And yeah, Karma has become full utility. He has become the utility mastermind. Can we get this cannon? No. Sad life. Sad day. I almost said sad life, but sad day and sad life. Pushing this wave in here, looking to create some pressure, and then see what we can get. The Volibear is defending. He is crazy. Karma gets some nice poke and a slow on him. I see that she would be the one to tank the aggro, so I'm just dropping down the DPS, finishing him off with the ult, and letting Jax jump away to me at the end so we get out. Quinn says, I'm so sorry for some reason. I haven't the faintest idea why. If you'd like to find out why, please come back for part 2 of this game's analysis. For more videos on League of Legends, stay tuned. It's been your boy Flycap.